Hey guys, this is Brandon with Low T Nation, and today we are going to bring a video to you guys regarding the concept of energy balance. Energy balance is the reason that either your diet or your fat loss endeavor will succeed or it will fail. Okay, it is the underlying foundation that all weight gain, weight loss, well, I should say fat gain or fat loss is laid upon. So let's go ahead and jump into it. The overarching principle that manages energy balance is calories in, calories out. All right, so we're going to kind of draw this out. You know, I like to use a whiteboard, especially in regard to energy balance. The visual makes a big impact here. So we have calories in, and it's just basically a scale, okay? We have calories out, and each one of these containers, it just sits on a scale. All right, and whatever side is heavier at the end of the day, whether our calories in is greater than our calories out, right? This is going to tip down. If our calories out is greater, obviously it's going to tip down. Well, fat, just for the sake of this demonstration, is located over here. All right, so we have calories in, okay? This is calories out. If at the end of the day, this goes down, that means we've expended more calories than we put in our body, fat will also correspondingly drop, okay? So calories in is simple, right? It's what we put in our body every day. Absolute no-brainer. And you can tell, obviously, already, we can really manipulate this system by managing the calories in on the left side. But that's a video for later. We're not going to worry about that today. We're going to break down the components of the calories out and give you guys some actionable items to actually implement into your life. Some low-key, easy things that you can implement into your lifestyle that'll make, at the end of the year, a profound impact on your ability to manage your weight or lose fat. All right? So the first component here we want to talk about is NEAT, N-E-A-T, and that is non-exercise activity thermogenesis. That's what I'm doing right now. I'm talking, I'm moving my hands, I'm standing. I walked from my car to the office today. I walked through the grocery store. All of these things that you do that are not exercise, right, where you're burning calories and you're moving, they fall into this non-activity or this non-exercise activity thermogenesis category. There's some very easy ways to manipulate this. And when I say manipulate it, we always want to be growing this container on this side, right? We want it to fall and have our fat levels correspondingly fall as well. All right, so one way to increase your NEAT category is like parking on the far side of a parking lot, for instance, and walking all the way to the store, taking the stairs instead of the elevator. A really easy way is using a standing desk. It burns more than 100 calories a day over a sitting desk, okay? 100 calories isn't that much in a day, but add it up over time. If you burn an extra 20 or 30 by walking, you burn an extra 20 or 30 by taking the stairs. If you decide to walk to the coffee shop in the morning instead of drive, or you walk to the local store instead of drive, these are little bitty things. They don't impact you day to day very much, but man, how they add up, and they just continue to add up over time, all right? So using an ab ball instead of a chair at your desk is another easy way. There's a million ways to burn calories without really doing too much more, okay? As far as lifestyle goes, we can expand this NEAT category and burn a bunch of calories. The next thing, I'm going to actually talk about two categories at once here. The next one is exercise activity. But before we really jump into that, I want to talk about your BMR. Your BMR is your basal metabolic rate, and that is basically what your body has to do just to keep itself going, okay? Every system in your body that's working right now, your brain, your heart, your lungs, your kidneys, your liver, your skin, it's all consuming energy constantly. Effectively, we're talking about your metabolism, okay? The more this takes up on this side of the container, the higher your metabolism. That means the more energy your body is expending, okay, just to keep itself going, all right, just to keep the lights on. So what we want to do is examine some of the components that give you a good metabolism and a good BMR. Number one, sleep. If you're not sleeping well, it wrecks your BMR. It's proven for several reasons, okay? But it's proven to absolutely wreck your BMR. It dysregulates hunger hormones. It increases one called ghrelin, which makes you want to eat more. Now we're making this bigger. It decreases one called leptin. That's your, hey, I think I've had enough hormone. So it makes you hungrier, and then it doesn't let you satiate as much, okay? So we have calories going in over here at a higher rate than what we want. Stress levels also do the same thing. They absolutely wreck your BMR. And there's studies that prove this. If you put someone, let's say, on a steady line of calories for a month, and then you dysregulate their sleep, leaving them at the same calories, they'll get fat. Okay, and it's just because your body needs good sleep to keep all these systems going optimally. Whenever your body doesn't get good sleep or stress really starts to interfere, cortisol gets mismanaged, all of these hunger hormones, they get dysregulated, everything kind of gets thrown out of whack, and your metabolism starts to slow down. So other things that keep your BMR going, other hormones, thyroid, for instance. People that are severely hypothyroidic, it can slow their BMR down by the tune of like 25%. And that means a lot when BMR, it's not really reflective here on my drawing, but BMR is 60 to 70% of your total daily energy expenditure. So that's what this whole calories out is called your total daily energy expenditure. Your BMR is 60 to 70% of that. Your your hormone profiles will account probably for the greatest effect on BMR, specifically thyroid. Also testosterone, about a 10% effect. If someone has low T and they get fixed, they see typically in studies about a 10% BMR increase. A lot of times that's due to just an increase in lean muscle mass. Another way to increase your BMR is to carry more muscle. Muscle is very energy intensive. The protein synthesis it takes to keep these muscles going and active is work for the body, right? So again, more calories being consumed in your sleep when you're just sitting at your desk than otherwise when you carry more muscle. So again, we want to make sure our hormones are good. If you're about to start a weight loss profile or a weight loss pursuit, I'm a big believer in just getting your hormones checked, right? Go to a good clinic that knows what they're doing, get them checked, because if there's a smoking gun there, if you have no testosterone or your thyroid is wrecked, your weight loss journey is going to suck. It's going to be full of pitfalls. You're going to do all the right stuff and you're not going to get the results you want. And fingers are going to get pointed, like feelings are going to get hurt. It's a lot of work when you're running that uphill battle unnecessarily, okay? So hormones, big time, right? Sleep, stress, we got to manage those. And I know that's easier said than done, but it's critical. Like, you have to manage them, you know, if you're going to try and be as lean and healthy as you possibly can be, and also carry as much lean body mass as possible. Again, it's so energy intensive. It's a lot of work for your body. Put that load on your body, make your body burn those calories in order just to stay at that homeostatic muscle point that you can keep. Now, speaking of muscles, I skipped over the energy or the exercise activity for a reason. There's two main categories of exercise that we all know. One is cardio, right? And one is resistance training or lifting weights. There's a big difference as far as how they affect your BMR. So now just to keep apples to apples here, okay? Let's say for the sake of this demonstration, two things. I only have 3 hours of exercise time a week. That's all I'm allotted. And I'm more interested in fat loss than anything else, okay? I'm not talking about the optimal bodybuilding program. I'm not talking sport-specific training. I'm talking weightlifting or cardio, which one is best in terms of fat loss with equal amounts of time that I can apply to each one. So if I'm doing spin class, for instance, and I'm burning 500 calories an hour 3 times a week, I'm burning about 1,500 calories. Spin class and almost all other cardio, it doesn't introduce what's called hypertrophy into my muscles. It doesn't damage my muscles to the point where the body has to come in, reconstruct, and remodel those muscles. So as soon as those 3 hours of cardio are over, my 1,500 calories are done, I'm done. I'm not burning any more calories from my 3 hours. That's all I have, right? My 3 hours of cardio. And let me jump on a tangent here real quick, guys. If you're tracking your calories with a watch, you know, or a Fitbit or a Garmin or something like that, Google how big the discrepancy is between what it's telling you you're burning and what you're actually burning. Like, don't take my word for it. All of these devices, they grossly overestimate how many calories you burn in any kind of activity session. And if you're using that number, right, to refeed yourself, if you say, hey, it said I burned 800 calories on a walk, which you didn't. No one does, right? Olympic level, like high level athletes have a very hard time burning 1,000 calories in the most insane workouts you've ever seen in 1 hour, okay? You and I, we're not getting close to that. So if your watch says, yeah, you burned 800 or 900 calories in a spin class, you didn't. But if you're using that number, okay, let's say you burned 5. If you're using that 800 or 900 to say, hey, now I can eat that many calories again, well, you've just introduced a 300 to 400 calorie surplus, and that right there drives people insane because they're doing all the right stuff. They're in the gym, they're doing their cardio, they're tracking how many calories they can reconsume, and all of a sudden they're starting to get fat or they're not losing the weight they wanted, and they just can't figure out why. And it's just because they're getting bad data from these apps. So I'll digress, but just keep that in mind, guys. Really be careful with relying on the data you get with your watch. Really do some research and learn how to kind of divide what number you get into what is actually probably more appropriate. So, but anyway, 3 hours, I burned 1,500 calories. And that's it, right? No hypertrophy, no reconstruction work, no remodeling work, none of that crazy energy intensive work that the body has to go into to restore muscle after it's been damaged in a workout. So if I switch that cardio over to lifting, and again, a caveat to this is you have to be intentional about these workouts. You need compound complex movements. And again, I'm talking in the realm of a 3-hour workout week, okay? That's what I personally do. I work out like Monday, Wednesday, Friday, an hour, and I personally do like a 5x5 where I hit my entire body. I do bench press and I alternate, you know, some days it'll be an incline, some days it'll be dumbbell, some days it'll be cable, whatever. But I do a 5x5, I do bench, shoulder press of some sort, I do a row or a pull up to hit my back, and then I do deadlifts and squats. So 5 sets of 5. I do it at a weight where I'm sore for a couple days, but I can actually work out on a Wednesday if I have worked out on a Monday. You know, it takes a while to figure out exactly what's right with you. I personally like this approach because I'm introducing hypertrophy to my entire body, right? And I'm staying in that rebuilding mode, that regenerative reconstruction, like remodeling phase constantly, right? Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Like, I'm constantly in that mode because I have constantly torn those muscles down to a point where they have to rebuild. That rebuilding process is where the gold is at because it is so energy intensive. That protein synthesis is so energy intensive. You're burning a ton of calories in this BMR section when you're in that situation. So yeah, 1,500 calories in 3 hours is pretty good. When you're lifting weights, even very intently, you're not burning 500 calories. So let's say you burn 250 calories. Well, we swapped out 1,500 calories with spin for 750 calories in the weight room, but we added thousands of calories of burn, right? Thousands of calories of energy consumption in that remodeling phase throughout the week, just repairing all that hypertrophy. So I would much rather see you guys, in terms of fat loss only, right? That's what we're talking about. Switch out cardio for weightlifting. And if you have 5 hours, by all means, do both. Cardiovascular health is actually improved with cardio more so than weightlifting, right? But things like bone remodeling, you know, mineral deposits in your bones are much denser for people that lift weights than people that just do cardio. So there's all sorts of benefits to both. Again, this is all in the context of fat loss with a given amount of time that you can burn, all right? So we've talked about how to increase our BMR. We've talked about how to use exercise to our advantage, increasing our BMR using exercise. We talked about some options with NEAT, right? We can walk further, we can take the stairs, we can stand at our desk, we can do all of these little things, right? Nothing big here, right? But just a bunch of small things. And the beauty of this, of tweaking your exercise, I'm not asking you to work out more, right? I'm just asking you to work out the same 3 hours and benefit more. But all of these are a little bit of work, right? I'm asking you to work out. I'm asking you to walk. I'm asking you to take the stairs. I'm asking you to get your hormones checked, right? You might need a thyroid pill. I'm asking you to pay for that. That's 30, 40, 50 bucks a month, something like that. Down here, the last thing I want to talk about is called the thermal effect of food. You can really tweak your caloric intake by not doing anything different, right? You have to change the thing, but by not like sacrificing anything at all. And I'll draw this out here just so it makes more sense. The thermal effect of food is a concept where a certain amount of all food is required in order to process, digest, metabolize that food. Okay, so it's broken down into the three macro components. You know, we have fats, we have carbs, and we have protein. Fats consume somewhere between 0 to 3% of the said introduced fat in order to metabolize and utilize that fat. So if I put 100 calories of fat in my body, I might end up with a net of, say, 98 calories because I needed 2 of those calories in order to process the rest and whatever my body needed to do to process that. Carbs, a little more intensive, about 10% of all introduced carbs are going to go back into processing those said carbs. Well, here's the beauty of what we can do with protein. Protein is roughly 30%, it has a 30% thermal effect of food. So every 100 calories of protein I put in my body, I'm only netting 70, right? That's a big difference. That's an immediate subtraction of a lot of calories. And if we do some math on this, so this is what the standard American diet versus kind of a high protein diet looks like, right? Standard American, you eat about half carbs. When I said earlier you don't have to do anything, obviously you have to switch the foods you're eating, but the beauty of this is that's a 2,000 calorie diet and that's a 2,000 calorie diet, okay? So I'm not asking you to sacrifice food, not asking you to eat less, and of course down here we've got protein and fat, and down here we have carbs and fat. And so you're not going to sacrifice anything, and to be honest with you, this is easier than this because carbs elicit a hunger hormone response, because sometimes when you eat carbs, like it makes you want to eat carbs, which kind of makes you want to eat carbs, right? It's easy to overeat. Protein is incredibly satiating from a hunger hormone profile perspective. The more protein you eat, the less you actually want to eat. So eating 2,000 calories with half protein is sometimes a chore. You know, for certain people, they're just like, oh, I'm full, you know, whereas the carbs, you're like, man, bring it on, give me more. So it's easier to stay under, right? We're not really talking about keeping this smaller, but if you're going to, it's easier to eat more protein, also fat as far as satiating goes, to keep your calories down. So what does this look like? Both of these are 2,000 calories, okay? My board's getting busy here. We've got 1,000 calories of carbs up here. The thermal effect of food on that is 10%. So I'm going to basically immediately subtract 100 calories, right? And I've got 500 calories of protein. The thermal effect of food on protein is 30%. That's 150 of 500. So minus another 150. I'm left, that's 250 calories subtracted from 2,000. I'm left at 1,750 net calories before I even get started, okay? That's where just the food is going to subtract itself out of the equation because of that thermal effect of food. But if I eat my same 2,000 calories, okay, but I swap out this for this, I'm eating 1,000 calories of protein a day, I immediately, 30% of 1,000 is 300. I'm already ahead of where I was, right? Just that. I've got 500 calories of carbs at 10% subtraction. That's another 50, right? So I am now at 1,650 calories for the day. It doesn't sound like a ton, right? But multiply this over 365 days. That is insane, right? That's 36,000 calories. 1 pound of fat's about 3,500 calories. That's crazy, right? That's 10 pounds of fat that you can lose in a year with zero sacrifice. You just eat more protein than you do carbs, right? Just tweak your consumption profile a little bit. That's crazy. So when we start adding all of this together, right? Let's say we really start to pay attention to our non-exercise calories that we're burning. And we start to say, hey, every day at lunch, I want to take a 20-minute walk. I'm going to walk to the coffee shop instead of driving, and I'm going to take the stairs every time I need to go to the restroom. And for 3 hours a day, I'm going to use my standing desk. Okay, something like that. Not a lot of calories burned, but let's just say the consumption of that is 100 calories. And I'm shooting very conservatively with these numbers, right? I'm going to reduce my exercise activity container, right? Because I'm swapping out cardio, which is more calorie intensive during that hour or those 3 hours, right? For weightlifting. But man, I'm going to grow my BMR to the tune of, from the exercise perspective, right? At least another, again, this is so conservative, but at least another 100 calories, because I'm lifting 3 times a week. I'm hitting my whole body, right? I have constant hypertrophy that needs to be remodeled and reconstructed. Conservative as hell, 100 calories extra a day, okay? And let's say I improve my sleep and I manage my stress. Those are so serious as far as managing your metabolism. I cannot overstate how hard it is to be healthy with poor sleep and high stress, okay? There are ways to manage your sleep. My wife has what's called an Uller. It's a Coolie mattress pad on her side of the bed. She turns that thing down to like 54 degrees and she sleeps like a baby. And we really monitor sleep, right? Her sleep disturbances cut in half whenever she started sleeping on that. What a tremendous, again, multiply that by 365 nights. What a tremendous improvement in her overall health she's going to get from that, okay? So there's little things you can do. If you're stressed, there's meditation, right? Talking to somebody, hire a professional, like get this stuff out of your head, right? Get this stuff out of your life that's messing up your sleep and messing up your stress. Easy, another 100 calories, right? And let's say we don't go a full 50% on protein. We just go something like that. But we increase our protein and we decrease our carbs, taking advantage of the thermal effect of food. If we did it all the way, we have a 100 calorie difference. Let's just say we do it part of the way and we get a 60 calorie difference. Subtle changes, right? Easy things to do, right? Manageable change. We have 360 extra calories a day. What a difference. At the end of the year, you're talking like 40 pounds almost. Okay? That is insane when all I'm asking you to do is just eat a little more protein, walk a little more here and there, stand up more at your desk, just little stuff, right? Palatable changes. These whole crash diets that say, yeah, you can lose 30 pounds in 30 days, they wreck your BMR. Your BMR shrinks. Yeah, of course this shrinks over here, right? So it's easy for this to go down, but also all of this stuff is shrinking, right? You can't really exercise on those kind of diets. You're tired all the time. Your metabolism over a long period of time can really start to slow down. And then when you increase this back up, this side is little bitty now, right? Your BMR sucks, your metabolism sucks, you're not exercising, you're out of shape, you're lazy, your hormones are a mess. So this big container that we worked hard to improve has gotten smaller because our calories in have gotten so small it had to adapt, right? Don't do that. Increase this and leave these alone. Decrease this a little bit if you want to, but just less and less and less calories is not the answer over time, right? Increasing this container on this side will give you the freedom, the flexibility, the peace of mind to make this sustainable and to make this a long-term success that will affect the end of your life and not just, hey, I lost 30 pounds in 30 days, but damn it, I put it all back on 2 months later, okay? That's what happens when you shrink the one on the left too fast and too hard. So I hope this makes sense for you guys. I hope you guys got, a couple of items that you might could add into your lifestyle, your daily routine that'll make a big impact on you. If you have any questions regarding this, now we have a lot more of these coming out on different aspects of weight loss, things to do, things not to do. We have myths versus truths and some other videos coming out. But if y'all have any questions, man, hit us up. We're at lowtnation.com. Subscribe on YouTube to us. That's where all these videos are going to hit first. We're on Instagram and Facebook and all the other places. Or you can give us a call. We're at 866-FIX-LOW-T. Thank you guys for watching. I appreciate you guys and have a great day.